All right, since many of you around the way have been clamoring for your boy to come up with who's going to win the Final Four, and I don't know why. I mean, for the first time in, I guess, my life, I have no teams in the Final Four. Even in my worst year, I'm able to get one or at the very least two of them, but zero, yet people still want to find out who I think is going to win the Final Four. All right, because those of you asked, I will break you off with my assessment. And you know how we roll around here. Listen to us, hear what we say, but if you're placing bets, go the other way. Because it's been a rough tournament for your boy, as in 0 teams left on the bracket. The bracket has been destroyed. Nonetheless, let's look at game number 1. You got Michigan State taking on Butler. Butler's a great story. They're the team playing at home. They represent the Horizon League. If the NCAA expands to 96 teams, there's a strong possibility you will never see another team like Butler make the Final Four. So enjoy the moment. Embrace it. It's what college sports is supposed to be all about. It's the classic David versus Goliath story. Although this David was projected as a top 10 team coming into the season, and it wasn't beyond the realm of comprehension for them to be where they are right now in Indianapolis, playing in the Final Four in their hometown. But they run into a team last year in Michigan State who did basically the same thing. They had to play in Detroit. They won one game knocking off UConn, but Carolina was just too much for them. Everybody on that team from last year is returning with the exception of the guard, Kalen Lucas. Yet Michigan State has found a way to win. They're the toughest team to match up with in America. If they're not making their shots, they're going to play tough defense. Even if the defense is lacking, they're going to sit the hardest picks in America, and they will rattle your cage early on. And you know something? If they rattle your cage enough, by the time it becomes crunch time, those wide open looks and those trips to the basket make the opposition think twice. So in a close one, 71-68, going to take Michigan State to knock off Butler in Game 1. In Game number 2, you've got the Duke Blue Devils, or the Blue Blood program of this year's Final Four. And it's strange because they haven't been to the Final Four since 2004, when this is Michigan State's 6th trip to the Final Four in 12 years. But then again, who's really counting? Nonetheless, Duke takes on West Virginia. Should be noted that a couple of years ago, right downtown, D.C. that is, in the Verizon Center, we watched pretty much the same West Virginia team, minus a couple of players, knock off a Duke team. I think that plays big. West Virginia may not have the depth, but they have the toughness, and the Big East was a tougher conference from top to bottom during the course of the season than the ACC was. This is going to be the best team that Duke has faced all tournament long, and at the end of the day, I'm not quite sure they're up to the challenge. That is, if the game is officiated to the point where it's even and they let the kids play up. That's right. We calling you out, Zebras. Let them play. I know it's not a scene from the Bad News Bears, but again, let them play and call it objectively and fairly. And if that is the case, then West Virginia rules. So, come Saturday, I like 71-68, Michigan State to knock off Butler, and in the nightcap, I'll go pretty much 72-70, West Virginia knocking off Duke. Key to the whole weekend, first team who hits 70 points is going to win each game. We'll talk about it Monday night on News Talk 1450 WOL and WOLDCnews.com during the SportsGroove radio program as we prelude to the championship on the reel. And if you can't check us out on the radio in the nation's capital, remember, 24/7, 365, www.WOLDCnews.com. It's your boy Mark Gray. Who's going to win on Monday? Check us out once again. Then, holla.